Hi, Church. Pastor Jeff here with another Trinity check-in. There is something I try to share every year after Easter, and I'm realizing that I'm not going to get to in worship this year, so I'm going to share it today in this video. First, a couple of quick announcements I want to share. This Sunday, we are having a celebration meal. This is for the Prepare the Way campaign. So many of you have gotten behind it and are giving sacrificially to help make it happen, to build a sanctuary and expanded children's space. And it is worth celebrating, not to mention all the people that helped to make the campaign happen, the whole mess of it together. And so this Sunday at 12:30, we are having a celebration meal. Now, we've had a hard time getting the announcements and the word out about the meal. Kind of got lost in the shuffle of everything that happens around Easter and Palm Sunday and the rest. So it's not too late to RSVP. It's not a potluck. It's going to be catered. I believe it's Hy-Vee catering, so it should be good food. That's always a good way to do it. And you know, we really don't have very many meals here at Trinity that are just for the sake of being with one another, just for the sake of the fellowship and having a meal together. And this is such a chance. So I hope you will sign up. I hope you will come. It's at 12:30 this Sunday. You'll find a link to sign up in the email, or you can call us in the office. Do let us know soon, though, and we'll make sure that we have the right amount of food there for it. The second thing I want to say is that this Sunday we're starting a new sermon series that is exciting. I've written the first two sermons in it already, and it is great. It's called Half Truths, and it's about phrases that sound legit, sound like they're from the Bible, but actually aren't. So, for instance, the first week is "Everything happens for a reason." Sounds decent, right? Well, it turns out that phrase falls short the more you think about it. But when you dig into what is really true about God, what we really learn from Scripture and from our experience as people of faith, well, it's much more profound. So I hope you'll come for the Half Truth series. We even have props. So I hope you'll come and help fill in the rest of the truth. Okay, now the thing I wanted to share is about Jesus post-resurrection. Now this is I suppose this is a little bit of theology and scripture sharing here is what it really is. But it's something that I think most Christians don't think about enough and don't put enough weight on. So we know the story. Jesus goes to the cross, dies, and then is raised on Easter, the resurrection. Now, a lot of Christians get stuck on the cross. They get stuck on the suffering without making it all the way to resurrection. But the truth is, it's not just Jesus' resurrection. It continues even after that. Most of the stories are in Luke and John's gospel of what happens after the resurrection. As Jesus came back and appeared to his disciples, there was a time that Thomas, doubting Thomas, as he's so often called, said that he wouldn't believe it unless he could touch the wounds in Jesus' hands and in his side. And Jesus comes and says, "Look, touch." There's another time where Jesus meets them on the beach and eats fish with them. Another time that he walks on the road to Emmaus with some of his disciples, and they don't realize who it is until he picks up the bread and breaks it. These stories are fantastic. And what always strikes me about them is the physicality of it. Did you hear what I said just now? He said, "Touch my wounds." He ate fish. He took sustenance post-resurrection. He broke the bread. He lifted it and picked it up. All of these stories have such a physicality to it, and we have such a tendency to think that what happens after we die is some kind of nebulous, up in the clouds kind of heaven, but that's not what we see. That's not what we see in Jesus. What we see is a resurrection that is intended for this world. And that gives us hope not only for the life to come, but it gives us hope for the here and now, because it shows us that God has not given up on this world, that Jesus is invested enough in what happens here on earth, in the physical world that we are a part of, that God not only came at Christmas, not only came back at Easter, but continued to come back again and again after that, and will again. Can you hear the passion in my voice? I really care about this. And if there's one thing that I think most Christians need to think about more often, it's that the resurrection wasn't a one-time occurrence, that it's something that happens in you and me, it's something that we can expect, and it's something that makes a difference in this world. Now, there's another thing I want to share here. that's going to make my point for me, I think. There was a significant death in the United Methodist Church this week. Bishop Dick Wilke. Bishop Wilke was from Kansas, very near where I was from. In fact, he was the senior pastor at Wichita First United Methodist Church for a number of years. Oh, what's the timeline? I didn't know him at that time or anything. I think he was probably still there when I was a little kid before he got elected bishop. But after being elected bishop, he did something even bigger than any of that. Some of you may have done the Disciple Bible Study and been part of that series. Well, Bishop Wilke is the one who wrote it. He's the one that helped form the vision for it and made it happen, all the while being a bishop, kind of a bit of an underachiever, right? But when he retired from the episcopacy, from being a bishop, he came back to Kansas, and I had a number of conversations with him at an annual conference. When my wife was on maternity leave, he was putting together Disciple Fast Track. And when he met Amy, my wife, not the Amy here at Trinity, my wife Amy, he was talking to her and was like, "Oh, you're a pastor who's on family leave and doesn't have a pulpit right now. Are you interested in leading a Disciple Fast Track study?" He was just such well, you know what I say in worship every week, our vision, that there are some people that you can just sense the life of Christ in. He was very much one of them. And he died on Easter Sunday, which, of course, is about the most symbolic thing he could possibly have done. But I'm going to give him the last word here. You know, here I am talking about Easter. Here I am talking about resurrection and about life after death. Well, all of Bishop Wilke's kids are involved in the church in one way or another, but Paul Wilke is a pastor in our conference. I want to say he's in Topeka right now, something like that. But he tells the story of asking his father a few years ago what he thought about heaven. And Bishop Wilke's answer, he said, was crystal clear. Are you ready for this? This is the question to what he thought about heaven. His answer was, "I don't know, Paul, but what I know is that Jesus is alive." See you soon, church.